Hi guys, this is Joanne, and in this episode I'm going to share with you my experience in taking the Learner's Permit, and I'll also be sharing with you some tips that can help you prepare for the test. So a learner's permit is basically an equivalent to the student permit in the Philippines. So here, like, you have to have a learner's permit, kind of like your license to learn to drive. And so every state has a different set of requirements for taking the learner's permit test. So in our state, we have to take the 4R Traffic Law and Substance Abuse Education course before we can take the test. So prior to taking the test, we have to take that course, diba? And so there are so many providers of that course. But I settled for one from Safe2Drive because of three reasons. So one is the bless you. One is the bless you again. One is the yung interface is so easy on the eyes. I'm using my mobile phone to take the course. It's actually a 4-hour course, so I want something that's super easy in the eyes, doesn't strain my eyes. So the Safe2Drive checks that box. And then the second thing that I'm looking for is positive reviews. Of course, you don't want to settle for something na negative ang reviews, diba? So again, Safe2Drive have that, and plus they are also approved provider by the DMV. I checked that on the internet. And then lastly, they don't have hidden fees, because some course providers, they would provide you with a very low fee for such course, but then at the end they would actually have additional fees for forwarding your completion to the DMV. And so, di ba, parang it's kind of like on the gray area of parang marketing in a way. So I like Safe2Drive because it's very much straightforward, and yung pricing nila, what you see is what you really pay for. So included na sa price nila is a forwarding of your course completion to DMV, so you don't have to pay additional fee. So I will put a link on that website in the description box so you can check it out. Actually, the first thing I did is I read the DMV handbook from cover to cover. So because they say that yung questions kasi, not really they say, that the questions from the learner's permit they would actually take that from the DMV handbook. Yeah, this is it. So I read it from cover to cover. But when I took the practice test, I can barely remember any information, especially to questions pertaining to fines and penalties. So it's that area is a bit tricky for me. So I downloaded 2 applications, mobile apps, to help me retain those information. So I will put again the links to those apps. So those apps are actually very helpful, and you don't have to upgrade to make the most of it. I actually just use the free version of both apps, and they really help me. So and then I set a deadline for myself when to take the test, because I have the tendency to procrastinate. So to keep me from doing that, I want to set a date. So habang palapit na yung nako sa date of taking the test, I took a lot of practice tests in a day, because dati kasi I only take one set of practice tests in a day. So habang ang super close na sa date of test that I set for myself, I take more than one test. So pag more than 3 mistakes, take again. Parang perfectionist kasi ako. So I don't want to set myself up for failure. So although you can retake naman the test, but personally for me, I don't want to drive the DMV office again, and parang cut back yung time namin to spend with our family. So so taking the learner's permit is actually quite an experience, because first I was actually very nervous in taking it because some of the people I know who already took it said that the test is really easy, like common sense lang daw. But then when I read the handbook, it's like it's more than just common sense. Wish, wish. It's more than just common sense because there are some questions and items about penalties, and like for me, like common sense, hindi mo na siya ma-remember yung mga info like that with common sense alone. So like you really have to study the DMV handbook. So anyway, so the experience when I got there, it was a pretty smooth transaction. So when I got there, they gave me a number, and so we just waited for the computer screen to to show we just wait for my turn to be called by the staff. So when it was my turn, I just showed my documents needed as proof of residency plus my green card. And so after that, I took the vision test on the spot. So just on the spot with my eyeglasses. And then after that, he led me na to a cubicle where I would take the learner's permit. So the learner's permit test is a 50 question test. So once you achieve 40 correct questions, 40 correct questions, the computer will automatically stop, which means you passed. So you're only allowed to have 10 mistakes, which means if you commit 11 mistakes, you will fail. But then it's also the kind of test that you can retake. So I'm not sure how many months you have to wait before you can retake it. But anyway, so yung ibang questions naman, fortunately for the learner's permit, you can skip some questions, especially if you're unsure of the answer or if you don't know the answer. So that actually is a lifesaver for me because there are some questions there that I'm really not sure of. I haven't encountered in the practice test, and I can't remember if I actually read that in the handbook. So yun, and it really helped me like babalikan ko na lang to, so at least may skip option kayo dyan. So yun, I actually felt super anxious while taking the test because in my mind I still like I have the mindset because before that I thought that once you make 4 mistakes you'll be like you fail, and that time I already have like 3 mistakes. Yeah, 3 mistakes. And so yun, kahit nakalagay dun sa computer na 11 mistakes, fail. So which means like 10 mistakes is the allowable number of mistakes you can have. But then like in my mind, I said na I don't want to have more than 4 mistakes because that's what I trained my brain even during the practice test. So yun, when I was like already have 39 correct 39 questions that I answered correctly. So I was just waiting for the last one to pass the test. And yun, fortunately, I was able to pass it. So yun, I was so happy doing that, and I still can't believe it. I was like, oh my god, I passed the test. And yun, it's really, for me, it's really an achievement. And because like, for me, like, hindi madali ang exam. Although they say that it's so easy or it's just common sense, but for me, that sounds like it's not easy. So you have to practice talaga. Practice, study. Yeah. So after that, passing the test, I was able to obtain my card just a few minutes after that. Actually, I'm so amazed because ang bilis ng processing. And yeah, one thing that I really like here is their efficiency. Like super bilis ng how they do things. Like once after you take the test, like you can get your card. Hindi yung after several hours babalikan yung card. So just minutes, which is amazing. So to sum it all up, what really helped me to pass the learner's permit is first read the DMV handbook. So for me, like I feel comfortable once I go through the material first and then just go back to it again if there are some confusion or information that has not retained. So yeah, for me it helped to read the handbook because you'll really learn a lot, especially if you're a first-time driver. I'm a first-time driver. I'm an adult first-time driver, and for me, reading the handbook is really, really helpful. I learned a lot. So like, just passing the road, seeing all those signs and symbols, like, oh, okay, now I get it now. And then the second thing is to do a lot of practice tests. That for me is probably accounts for like 70% of my success of passing the learner's permit. So ano lang, talaga, practice, practice, practice. Do the practice test, and if you fail, if you commit a lot of mistakes, just do it again. Like the first time I did the practice test, I committed a lot of mistakes in it. But then, push lang, adya. So go lang ng go, even if you commit a lot of mistakes. And then, so yun, basically two lang, dalawang tips lang. So, basa-basa tayo ng DMV handbook. Tapos, yung pangalawa is, do as many practice tests as you can. So, if you're busy, just aim to have at least, do one set of practice tests. Do a set of practice tests a day. So, that would be sufficient enough. So yun, so I hope that this video has helped you in in having an idea on what to do in preparation for your learner's permit. So once again, this is Joanne, and I hope to see you again in my next video. And I hope na nakatulong ako. So till next time, guys. Bye!